Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, in this session, inshallah, I learn about the reliability and validity of the questionnaire. So, this is one of the questionnaire I'm just using for the purpose of example. Inshallah, I learn how to check the reliability. I'm not just focusing on how to develop the questionnaire. This is something we have already discussed. What is the process and what are the method involved in the development of questionnaire? I'm just really focusing on how to check whether the questionnaire is reliable. We learn how to check the reliability and also the validity of the questionnaire results, right? So this is a questionnaire titled Effect of Social Media on Consumer Loyalty. These are two abstract concepts, or you can say the broader concepts. One is social media engagement and its impact on the consumer loyalty. And the problem here is, if you remember, if we have the abstract concepts, they are not directly measured. So we are just breaking them down into measurable, concrete, observable items. If you remember, we have learned in the operationalization, and this is the process of operationalizing. Operationalization have to break down or transform the abstract concept into the concrete, measurable item, dear students, right? So in this questionnaire, we have a number of different sections, starting from section A up to section H. The first section is somehow collecting the general responses, right? And then we are having the items for the constructs we have. This is social media section number B. This is a construct. Simply, this is a construct that is an abstract concept which is not directly measured, and we need to break them down into a number of measurable items, such as this one, which are really measuring the construct, dear students, right? Similarly, we have the section number C. We have another construct. These constructs, they are indeed variable, dear students, right? So you can say social media engagement, perceived content quality, and in section number D, we have trust in brand social media, and then we have section E, customer service responsiveness on social media. All of them, they are independent variables, and what we check their impact on the dependent variable in our situation here is the consumer loyalty. But all of these variable, dear students, they are kind of construct. They are not directly measured, and we are using the questionnaire using some number of different items for each construct to elicit the responses, and using the scale, dear students, right? This is the scale for each item. We have scale starting from strongly agree to strongly disagree, and this is having the high score or code, right, which is 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1 in this way. Okay, what really is important here, students, in the development of questionnaire, that is reliability and validity. Before you finally distribute your questionnaire for data collection, it's really important just to make sure all of these constructs, they have items, right? They are consistent, reliable, and they are valid, right? Okay, so what do we really mean by consistency, dear students? By consistency, we mean that all these different items we have, all of them, are they consistent? Are they producing the same in similar response, dear students? Okay, for example, if the option number 1, the respondent is just indicating that he is just strongly agree in case of the social media engagement. Here we are measuring the social media engagement. He is indicating that he is strongly agree, right? And then in the second option, he is just indicating that he is not agree, or he strongly disagree. So this is kind of counterintuitive, not logical, that if you are showing that you are having a high level of social media engagement in option number 1, and then immediately you are showing that you are having a strongly disagree or lower level of social media engagement, dear students. So it means your questions, they are not kind of consistent, right? So a respondent, if he's just indicating he strongly agree in option number 1, is more likely to be strongly agree, or at least agree in option number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in this way. And if we observe this format, or you can say this sequence, then you can say there is consistency in among these items. So it's really important, right, for the valid, reliable data, accurate data, or for your accurate analysis, the consistency among the items, they are really important. That's really important, dear students, right? Okay, number 1, we are just concerned about the reliability, and that means that all these questions or options, different items we have, they are really just producing the similar responses. And if they are not really producing similar and equal responses, are kind of close in same responses, then you can say there is the issue of inconsistency. or there is no reliability, dear students. Okay, the second point is validity, dear students. When we are talking about validity, it means we are just concerned whether all these different options we have, they are really measuring this construct or not. Why? Because it's kind of possible that you incorporate items which are not really relevant, right, with your construct, and they're not really measuring your construct. If you remember, I've just given you multiple examples. For example, this is social media engagement, right? And all of these questions, they are really relevant. They are really just measuring the social media engagement. And here is one question which is not totally measuring the engagement, rather it is just measuring the satisfaction or motivation. Then you can say the items, there are some questions or options which are not really relevant here, not really loading on this factor, or you can say this construct. So this is also important. Number one, there should be consistency. All different items you have, they should be consistent means producing the similar responses, and also they are valid, they are relevant, and they are closely just driven by a latent factor, a hidden factor, which is just same in one. It means each and every item that is just closely related to the construct which is just measured. Okay, once again, I'm just concluding, do these items, right, they really measure the social media engagement? That is just a question of validity, dear students. Okay. Okay, this is our purpose today, how to check the reliability and validity using the SPSS. But before that, and we have a brief explanation and some extra information related to reliability. Okay, dear students, we are having the types of reliability. As I've just explained, reliability is talking about the consistency, but we have some other context of the reliability, such as the test reliability. You can say it's a type of reliability which is just talking about the consistency over time. If you are having a questionnaire, dear students, and you are just collecting two different responses using the same respondents, but in two different times you are collecting two different responses. So you can say there is the issue of test reliability. For example, you are just checking or measuring the stress level of the students, and you are just concerned to know how stressed the students are. And if you are just measuring the stress level before examination and after examination, so you can say these similar questions may produce different responses depending on the mood of the respondents, as you can see, students in our example, right? So the purpose, dear students, is retest reliability is just making sure whether your questionnaire is just collecting or eliciting the same responses in two different times or not. And if they do not collect the same responses in two different times, it means your questions, they are not drafted or aligned in such a way they are just collecting the same responses. Or you can say your questions, they are dependent on the mood of the customers in different situations, in the mood of the respondents, or they are just depending on some other issues. Or you can say your questions, they are not really clear or just interpretable in different situations differently, right? Then we have inter-reader reliability. This is the difference if two respondents, they are interpreting your question differently. Or for example, if two lecturers, they are just evaluating the performance of the students. For example, the communication of the students. If one is indicating that the student is really fluent in having good communication, but another is just indicating using the similar questionnaire that the student is not really good in his fluency, is having some problems. So you can say, dear students, the question is just having inter-rater reliability. Why? Because similar performance is just rated differently. Two different rater, they are just rating the same question differently using similar response or similar outcome. So this is kind of inter-rater reliability issue, dear students. So these two we are not really concerned about now. What we are really concerned about, that is internal consistency reliability, dear students, what we have already discussed. That the questions, dear students, we have all of them. The construct which are measured, they have number of different items, they should be just consistent, and this there should be internal consistency, dear students, right? Okay, How to check this internal consistency, dear students? We are using the Cronbach alpha test. This is a test which is just helping us whether the items they are consistent or not, right? So there is some the threshold level, or you can say there is some criteria. So if it is above 0.7, the alpha that is above the 0.7 in the Cronbach alpha test, then you can say that's acceptable, and the items they are consistent, right? And if the score is less than 0.7, it means it's questionable, and lower than 0.6 is really poor. But if it is greater than 0.9, it's excellent, dear students. Okay, so how you can check the Cronbach alpha test, checking this reliability, dear students? We are using the SPSS. Okay, this is our questionnaire. You have already learned how to set up your questionnaire using SPSS, dear students. Okay, this is the same questionnaire we have. In this questions we have the social media engagement, SME, and we have perceived content quality, which is PCQ, right? So look here, we have, this is question SME, SME1, SME2, SME3 up to SME4. We have 4 different items here, and for the construct number 1, and we have another construct which is the perceived content quality, and we have the third construct, right, which is the third construct, dear students. This is the trust in brand social media, dear students. Okay, now look, dear students, we have collected the responses, right, and we have entered them into the question to the SPSS. Now what we really need to check is that whether these items in our questionnaire, such as SME, SME2, SME3, SME4. Okay, this is usually done, dear students, in pilot testing. Okay, before we finally administer, we collect some data. You can make sure just to check whether all these different options or items, they are consistent or not. Okay, so click on the analyze, and here we have the scale. Within the scale, click on the reliability analysis. And here, dear students, you should just check the cron alpha for each and every construct differently. So we have SME1 starting to SME4. Just click on this and use the alpha here, and simply click on the some statistic. If you just really need it, we need the descriptive statistic for scale, for item, and for scale, means, variance, covariance, and correlation, right? You can just add some other information if required, and just click on the continue and click on OK. Okay, simply, dear students, this is the output of the Cronbach alpha. So what really important for us is not the crash processing summary, is just talking about the valid number and excluded. For example, if there are any excluded values, total we have the 48 responses we have, right? Okay, reliability statistics. This is what is really important. The Cronbach alpha value is 0.917, which is greater than 0.7. It means the items, they are consistent with one another, and this is important, right? In some other statistic, you can just see the standard deviation of number SME1 and SME2 and SME3 in 48 responses. And some summary item statistic we have, such as mean value of each and every item and the minimum maximum range value, right? So this is some general information, statistical information, but what really important for us, dear students, in our analysis today is just the reliability statistic. If the Cronbach alpha value is greater than 0.7, it means the items we have that they are consistent. Okay, but we have only checked the reliability for one construct. Similarly, you should just check the reliability, dear students, for all construct in your questionnaire. Okay, then you can just repeat it for the second construct and third construct accordingly, dear students. Okay.